I am Scott Hildenbrand, Sheriff of Geauga County. You have been committed to a stay at the Geauga County Jail. You are about to see an important video. This video is going to discuss the rules and regulations of the Geauga County Jail. These are important. These policies, procedures, rules, and regulations are designed to ensure that our jail operates in a safe and efficient manner. Your compliance with these policies is very important. I hope you pay attention to the video you're about to see.
The rules of this jail are designed with the safety, security, and fairness of yourself and the jail staff in mind. Only the jail staff has the authority and responsibility to impose and enforce the rules of this jail. You have a responsibility to follow the rules of this jail. Be respectful of jail staff. You are required to address jail officers by their last name and title. Be respectful of other prisoners and the property of the jail and others. Avoid disruptive, aggressive, and loud behavior, and always follow any instructions given to you by a jail officer. The following is a list of general rules and regulations. Conduct yourself in a respectful and orderly manner at all times. You will be fully clothed while you are out of your cell and in other areas of the facility. At no time will you be permitted in an unauthorized area. All equipment issued to inmates must be used in the proper manner. Obey any order issued to you by any member of the jail staff. Assaults against jail staff and other inmates and destruction of any county property will be dealt with swiftly and by whatever means necessary. Anytime you are permitted to exit your housing unit for any purpose, you must walk with your right shoulder next to the wall immediately to the right-hand side of your body. No talking is permitted during these times. Prisoners who follow the rules will be allowed certain privileges. Prisoners who break the rules may have privileges taken away and be subject to disciplinary action. Ask a member of the jail staff or refer to the printed rules if you have any questions about any rules of this jail. Upon arrival, all prisoners must go through a standardized intake or booking procedure. All prisoners will be searched, scanned, fingerprinted, and photographed. The booking process must be carried out and completed for all prisoners, no matter the charge or length of confinement. The intake process must be completed for all prisoners before they can be released. During this process, you will be asked many questions, including questions about your physical and emotional health. For your own safety, you must answer all questions asked of you honestly. If you have any medical or emotional problems, alert the booking officer and medical staff. You will be given an opportunity to use the telephone to contact persons outside the jail. You will be given a 5-minute phone card to do this. If you cannot make contact within this time, you may use the phones located in your housing unit on a collect call basis unless you are being disciplined. Bonds are not accepted at this facility and must be paid at the respective court. You will be required to change into a uniform and you will be issued the following items: 2 uniform shirts, 2 uniform pants, and 1 pair of sandals. You will also be issued 1 mattress, 1 sheet, 1 blanket, 1 towel, 1 hygiene kit, 1 rule book, and an identification bracelet. All items issued to you are the property of Geauga County and must be returned when you are released. If you need help reading your rule book, please ask any member of the jail staff. Your personal property and clothing will be inventoried and safely stored in the property room until your release. Valuable property will be locked up. You will be required to sign a property receipt when you are released from custody. All monies taken now or received later will be placed into your commissary account. All personal property must be picked up within 30 days of your release or it will be disposed of. You will be assigned a housing unit and assigned a cell. This unit will be picked by the jail staff using information known about you at the time of intake. You will be housed with other prisoners who have had similar charges or have characteristics similar to you. You may be moved later based on new information or your behavior. If you believe that you have been placed in an incorrect area, you may request a review by a sergeant. Only jail staff may change housing assignments. While you are in jail, you will be around heavy doors, gates, and locks. For your safety, stay clear of the closing doors and do not place any part of your body in doorways. The daily schedule for the jail is as follows. 5:30 a.m. Wake up and cleaning supplies issued. 6:15 a.m. Cell doors open. 6:30 a.m. Roll call and head count. 7 a.m. Breakfast. 8 a.m. Clean up. 9 a.m. Phones and TVs. 11 a.m. Lunch. 2 p.m. Roll call and head count. 5 p.m. Dinner. 6 p.m. Roll call and head count. 11 p.m. Phones off. 11:30 p.m. Roll call and head count. 11:30 p.m. Lock up and lights out. In-house communication for assistance can be addressed by filling out an inmate request form, or KITE. Inmate request forms can be used to address special needs you may have, or to request emergency furloughs and to participate in special programs offered by the jail. Inmate request forms are available by request from the officer assigned to your housing unit. If you need assistance filling out your form, you may ask the officer for assistance. Every inmate request form will be addressed. Some requests take more time than others to resolve. Please be patient. Frivolous requests, or those not signed with your name, will be discarded. Head counts are conducted 4 times a day. When an officer arrives at your housing unit for head count, you must stand outside your cell area, or, if in your dorm, next to your bunk in full uniform with your ID bracelet on. You must verbally answer "here" when your name is called. You are required to clean your cell area and the common areas in your housing unit every day. Cleaning supplies will be issued every morning. Listen to the instructions of jail officers and do not write on or disfigure any jail property. Do not litter the floors or place trash anywhere but in the trash containers provided in your housing area. You will be given an opportunity to shower every day. You are required to shower 3 times a week, but may be ordered to shower more frequently if corrections officers think you are in need. You will be permitted to shave every day. Razors will be distributed by officers daily during lockdown, and you will be given 30 minutes in which to shave. Failure to return your razor after lockdown will result in a search of your cell area and disciplinary action. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, and other hygiene products are available for purchase from the commissary. After intake, you are responsible for purchasing your own hygiene products from the commissary. You are permitted to receive 1 haircut per month. Arrangements can be made for haircuts by sending an inmate request form to the shift sergeant. Only a licensed barber or beautician will be permitted to enter the jail for haircuts. You must get dressed and wake up and be in full uniform, shirt, pants, and shoes at all times between wake up in lockdown and whenever you are out of your cell, or leaving your housing area for any reason. All uniform articles should be worn in the proper manner and at all times. Tucking of hands into the front of uniform pants is strictly prohibited. You are not permitted to hang anything on the railings or jail fixtures. You are also not permitted to hang or stand or slide down or in any way sit on any of the railings or tables. The corrections officers may perform cell inspections at any time. You must immediately correct any deficiencies found during inspection. Failure to do so may result in disciplinary action. You are not permitted to have valuable articles in your possession, and you are not permitted to transfer your clothing or other property to other inmates. Property found in violation of jail rules will be held until you are released or possibly destroyed. Inmates are permitted to bring the following to jail: 1 pair of prescription eyeglasses or reading glasses, court papers, reasonable amount, money for the commissary, medical devices issued or approved by jail medical staff, approved filled prescription medications in original pharmacy containers. Additional items that inmates may possess include items purchased from the commissary or personal letters or cards received by U.S. mail while you are in custody, 2 magazines or paperback books from our library, 1 Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous book, 3 photographs, no Polaroids allowed, 3 educational religious workbooks or pamphlets. Property in your cell must be kept neat and orderly. Place all of your items in the lockers provided to you. No items are permitted on top of lockers. No pictures may be attached to the walls. Do not hang clothes on the bars or on lines. Do not cover lights or windows with paper, clothing, or other objects. Nothing may be kept under your mattress. Clutter creates a fire hazard. Excessive amounts of personal property may be removed at any time and placed in your personal property bag until you are released. Any item not stored in your locker or not kept on your shelf is subject to removal and immediate disposal. Any item that is altered in any way will be removed and disposed of. The Sheriff's Department reserves the right to make final decisions on all items received. The laundering of your jail uniform and approved personal clothing will be scheduled regularly. The Geauga County Sheriff's Department is not responsible for any personal laundry that is lost or damaged during the laundry process. Inmates may obtain clothes to wear to court by filling out an inmate request form and sending it to a supervisor. Court clothes may be brought in by a family member or friend. Only 1 set of court clothes will be retained at a time. All court clothes will be searched for contraband. Contraband is defined as any item or article in the possession of an inmate or found within their housing unit or in their cell that is not included in the permitted items list officially issued by the administration or purchased from the inmate commissary. Authorized items may be considered contraband if altered for use not originally intended or found in quantities greater than normal or necessary. You have the right to know what kind of behavior is expected of you. You have the right to know behavior that is not permitted and the penalties you can expect for breaking the rules of this jail. You are subject to disciplinary action for violations described in this video and your handbook. If by breaking any rule of this jail that is considered a crime, charges may be filed against you. Anything you say in a disciplinary hearing may be used against you in a court of law. Violations of jail rules are grouped into 3 categories: minor, major, and serious. Minor offenses are acts that do not immediately threaten the jail or any persons inside the jail. For example, calling inmates or staff any derogatory names, not doing work as instructed, and failure to follow sanitation or safety standards. You may be penalized by reprimand and/or by restriction of privileges such as entertainment or commissary for up to 5 days. Major offenses are defined as violations which cannot be considered minor but do not constitute a violation of statutory law or pose a threat to the security of the jail or the persons in the jail. Also, repeated minor rule infractions may be classified as major, or if it is determined that minor disciplinary actions do not serve as a deterrent. Major rule violations will be subject to restriction or suspension of certain privileges and qualified rights outlined in Paragraph B, Rule 5120, Section 1-8-1-2 of the Administrative Code or isolation for up to 15 days. Serious offenses include acts and/or violations that pose a present and immediate threat to the security of any persons, including yourself. Serious offenses carry penalties of disciplinary isolation or suspension of privileges and qualified rights for up to 30 days. Serious violations may lead to criminal charges. Some examples of serious offenses are fighting, possession of drugs, and malicious destruction. A complete list of minor, major, and serious offenses can be found in your Rules and Regulations Handbook. If an officer accuses you of a violation, you are assured due process and fair treatment. You will be notified that you have committed a violation and instructed to stop the prohibited behavior immediately. You may be locked in your cell, and you may be physically controlled if necessary. If the violation is a minor offense, you may be verbally reprimanded. You may also lose privileges or be moved to a restricted area. If the violation is a major or serious offense, the officer will file a report, and a hearing will be scheduled to take place within 24 hours of the report. You will also receive written notification of your charges. You may request staff assistance for your violation hearing. You may waive your right to a hearing. If you waive your right to a hearing, the hearing officer will review your case to determine your guilt or innocence, as well as what penalty you will receive. During your violation hearing, you have the right to be heard, to present testimony, and to cross-examine witnesses. If your violation results in criminal charges, anything you say in your hearing can be used against you in a court of law. At the conclusion of your violation hearing, the hearing officer will determine your guilt or innocence on each charge. The hearing officer will then impose punishment and a written statement describing the reasons for judgment and punishment. You may request an appeal and a review of the hearing officer's findings by submitting a written request via the inmate request form. You may submit this request within 48 hours of the judgment. The sheriff or designee whose decision will be final will decide this appeal. The following is a list of penalties that may be assigned to you as a result of the violation hearing. Instruction and counseling, verbal reprimand, written reprimand, extra work detail, participation in selected programs, loss of privileges, confinement, relocation to disciplinary housing, disciplinary isolation. The following privileges may also be taken away: commissary, except necessary hygiene items, visits by friends, phone calls to family and friends, library services and reading materials, leisure activities like cards and games, attending facility programs. Corporal punishment will never be used as a penalty. The following is a list of qualified rights that may be suspended under certain circumstances: 1 weekly visit by family, limited use of clothing, bed, bedding, toilet, sink, and shower. The following is a list of fundamental rights that may not be taken away: visits by attorneys and clergy, phone calls to attorneys and clergy, adequate food, adequate light, ventilation, temperature control and sanitation, medical care. You are permitted 60 minutes of visitation per week with friends and relatives. These visits will take place in 30-minute increments twice a week. Visiting privileges may be restricted for security or disciplinary reasons. Visiting hours are posted in each housing unit and in the lobby area. All visitors must bring photo ID. Minors must bring a copy of their birth certificate. Minors must be supervised by a parent or legal guardian at all times. Visitation may be terminated or denied by jail staff at any time for the following reasons: the visitor presents a danger to security based on past or present behavior. The visitor refuses to submit to a search or show ID. The visitor is under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Any disruptive behavior by you or your visitors. The visitor is dressed inappropriately in revealing clothes. The jail administrator may find there are other substantial reasons to limit your visitation privileges in order to promote a safe and secure environment. These reasons will be documented in writing. Attorneys, members of clergy, judges, law enforcement personnel, military prosecutors, parole, and probation officers may visit inmates for professional purposes at any reasonable hour with proper identification. These officials will be subject to the same security measures and regulations in place for friends and family. Clergy must make an appointment and provide adequate clergy identification. When you receive a visit from friends and family or other approved persons, you must follow the proper visitation procedure. Step up to the housing unit door when your name is called. When the door is unlocked, step through and close the door behind you. Walk directly to the visitation booths. Once the door to the visitation room is unlocked, open the door and step through. Walk to your assigned booth number and sit in front of the monitor and pick up your headset. The visitor will not pick up their headset until you do. This begins the visitation period. When the screen flashes, you have 1 minute remaining for your visit. Once the screen goes blank, your visit is over. At this time, you must stand and return to the visitation booth door. Once the door is unlocked, step through and return to your housing unit. Deviations from any procedures, disruptive behavior by yourself or your visitors, or any rule violations by yourself or your visitors will end your visitation and result in disciplinary action. The jail operates an inmate commissary where you may purchase items like snacks, writing materials, and personal hygiene items. Any money received from you during your intake, plus money received via the kiosk, internet, or by mail, will be deposited into your commissary account. Only cash or money orders will be accepted for commissary funds via the mail. Checks are not accepted. Commissary orders are placed via the inmate phone system. Orders can be placed at any time, but will only be dispersed twice weekly. You will be given an access code at the time of booking. The amount of money you have in your commissary can be accessed via the commissary ordering system. Your order must not exceed this amount. No credit will be issued. If you have no funds in your commissary account for 7 days, you are considered indigent. Indigent inmates may obtain personal hygiene items and writing materials by ordering via the commissary ordering system. You may send as many letters as you wish unless restricted for order and security of the jail, or when you lack funds to pay for postage. All outgoing mail must be properly sealed with complete address, including complete return address. Mail that is not properly addressed will not be sent out. Mail is received Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. Mail addressed to you will normally be distributed to you on the day of receipt. Your mail will be opened in your presence and inspected for contraband. Any contraband found will be confiscated and investigated. If your incoming mail contains money, the money will be removed and placed into your commissary account. You will receive a receipt for this money. COD, postage due mail, and packages will not be accepted at this jail, nor will reading materials, envelopes, or stamps. This jail provides reading materials to its inmates. Any cards or periodicals received containing sexually explicit and/or inflammatory content will be confiscated. Your rules handbook contains the following address where your family and friends may address their mail to you. You will have access to the collect call telephone system in your housing unit. These phones are usually in operation between 9 a.m. and 11 p.m. The phones are equipped for outgoing calls only. The phones are operated by an outside company, and this jail is not responsible for any of the rates charged for phone usage. The phones may be shut off at any time for misuse or security purposes, and your phone privileges may be suspended as disciplinary action. In order to provide other inmates an opportunity to use the phones, we ask that you limit your phone conversations to 15 minutes. No incoming calls are permitted, except in extreme emergencies. You will receive 3 nutritious meals every day at regular intervals. The menu for this jail has been approved by a registered dietitian. You may accept or decline any food given to you. You may not trade food or take someone else's meal. The exact number of trays and sporks must be returned to the kitchen after each meal. The area will be searched if any items are missing. If you have special dietary needs, you must submit an inmate request form. Special dietary requests may only be approved by the jail administrator or jail doctor. Reasonable provisions will be made for religious dietary requirements when application is made and documentation offered by special request to the jail chaplain. If you feel sick or have medical or dental issues that require treatment, you must fill out a kite. Medical personnel will prioritize your requests, taking the most serious cases first. Decisions regarding healthcare services, treatment, medications, and hospital referrals will be made by the jail physician only. If you suffer a medical emergency, call a corrections officer. Medical staff will be contacted in a timely and efficient manner. An emergency is defined as a life-threatening situation. Any medication brought into the jail by you must be turned over to the jail staff for approval. Your medication will be given to you only as prescribed and within the limits of the jail schedule. You must take medication immediately and in the presence of corrections officers. Do not save medication or give medication to other inmates. Misuse of medication will result in disciplinary action. If you are in jail for more than 10 days, you will receive a free health appraisal. This examination is for the protection of everyone inside the jail. Failure to comply with medical staff will result in medical isolation. To prevent the spread of contagious disease, practice good hygiene, wash your hands frequently, and regularly change and launder your clothes. Don't share drinking cups. Avoid sexual contact with other prisoners, and use gloves and masks when advised by medical personnel. Each housing unit will be scheduled to have 1 hour of recreation no less than 5 times per week. You must wear shoes and a shirt at all time during recreation. No one-on-one basketball is permitted. No food or drink of any kind is permitted in the recreation area. Inmate programs are available to inmates in good standing. Programs are considered a privilege and can be restricted when disciplinary problems occur. The following is a list of available inmate programs: religious services, Alcoholics Anonymous, adult-based education or GED instruction, inmate work program, life skills. A complete description of each of these programs can be found in your rules handbook. Inmates who have been approved by sentencing court may participate in the work release program. Inmates participating in work release must follow all rules and regulations established by the work release coordinator. Failure to do so may result in suspension of your work release privilege. Certain circumstances may prevent you from participating in work release even if sentencing court has approved you for this privilege. A work release coordinator will explain these circumstances to you if they exist in your case. Approved inmates may be able to reduce their fines by participating in the community service program. Approved inmates without fines may choose to participate in community service to reduce boredom. If you are interested in obtaining further information about community service, you may fill out and send an inmate request form to the Community Service Program Coordinator. All inmates participating in community service will be drug tested before and during their participation in the community service program. The Geauga County Safety Center is a tobacco-free area. Staff, inmates, and visitors are prohibited from possessing any tobacco products or incendiary devices like matches or lighters in any secured area of the premises. You are permitted to file a grievance at any time you believe you have been wronged. Grievances may be filed against officers, staff members, or other prisoners by filling out a grievance form. Grievance forms must contain the first and last names of those persons involved, the time, date, and location of the incident, and all important details related to the matter. If the matter is confidential, ask the officer assigned to your housing area for a private meeting with the sergeant or shift supervisor. Any officer who fails to inform the necessary parties of your need for a private meeting, hinders or hassles you because of a private grievance, shall be subject to disciplinary action. A sergeant will review your grievance, and you may appeal your grievance decision within 1 week of being notified of the decision. During your time here spent at the Geauga County Jail, we want to ensure your safety, health, and general well-being. As required by the Prison Rape Elimination Act, the Geauga County Sheriff's Office has a zero-tolerance policy regarding any form of sexual harassment or sexual abuse. This includes any forms of verbal actions and/or physical actions. It should be noted it does not matter if the actions were consensual or not. It includes any actions by other inmates as well as any inappropriate behavior by staff members. Should you be a victim or a perpetrator of any such acts, the actions will be fully investigated. Should you be found guilty of any wrongdoings, you will be charged administratively and you will face criminal charges. Should you make any false accusations or statements, appropriate actions will be taken to address any false accusations. We strongly encourage you to report any involvement in any sort of sexual harassment or abuse. Any and all reporting of such incidents is highly confidential and will be investigated. There are guidelines in your rule book for reporting procedures, including directly notifying a corrections deputy or supervisor verbally or in writing. You may also fill out an inmate request form, KITE, and hand it directly to a deputy. You may also fill out a KITE and report the incident to medical. Throughout the housing units and in the medical office are posters encouraging you to report such incidents. You also may call a confidential hotline to report any incidents. Further information on reporting incidents is written on the posters as well as in your inmate rulebook. Should you be involved in an incident, you will immediately be referred to medical. You also will be provided services through Ravenwood Mental Health Center. You will also be contacted by a member of the Sexual Assault Response Team to obtain necessary information to offer you help in recovery as well as provide them with information for the investigation of any incidents. The sooner you report any violations, the sooner we may offer you assistance in recovery and additional protection. Also, the sooner and more effectively we may deal with the prosecution of the perpetrator for the safety of all. The PREA coordinator for this facility is indicated on the posters throughout the jail. But, as mentioned earlier, you may report it to any deputy or staff member at any time.
Please refer to your Rules and Regulations handbook or ask a staff member if you have any questions. It is very important that you follow these rules during your stay at the Geauga County Jail. Understand that improper conduct, which includes assaults against staff members, assaults against other inmates, or destruction of county property will be dealt with swiftly. I can assure you we will follow through with discipline or criminal prosecution as the matter warrants. You also must remember that these rules and regulations are subject to change at any time with proper authorization from the sheriff.